to finish directly controls the motor's thrust profile.
The propellant must...
The warhead housing is a steel container.
The guidance system uses a combination...
Welcome to this detailed look at how a modern loitering munition is assembled from start to finish. These motors are standard off-the-shelf components available on the global market, originally designed for agricultural and hobbyist missions. The hollow center created by this rod determines the surface area that burns, which directly controls the motor's thrust profile.
The propellant must cure for exactly 3 days at a controlled temperature to achieve the correct mechanical properties.
The cured propellant is now a solid grain that can be handled safely, though it remains highly energetic. The grain is bonded to the casing to prevent movement during acceleration. This mechanical retention provides a secondary safety measure in case the adhesive bond fails. The warhead housing is a steel container designed to hold a blast fragmentation explosive charge, though no explosive is present during this assembly demonstration. The yellow color serves as a high-visibility coating for identification and UV protection, not as camouflage.
The guidance system uses a combination of GPS, inertial measurement, and pre-programmed waypoints to navigate without a live pilot.
The electronics are placed as far forward as possible to maintain the center of gravity ahead of the wing. All connectors are keyed.
The motor is mounted in a pusher configuration, meaning the propeller faces backward and pushes the drone forward. The speed controller translates. Wooden propellers are used because they are inexpensive, lightweight, and absorb vibrations better than metal. The propeller is balanced at asters. The delta wing provides stability at low altitudes and allows for a simple, strong structure. The drone turns and pitches by varying motor thrust and using a weight shift mechanism. This is a simplified control system with fewer failure points. The fuel bladder is made of a self-sealing rubber compound. The bladder is filled with standard automotive gas engines. The wiring harness is pre-assembled and tested for installation to reduce the chance of shorts or misconnections. The nose cone is removable for access to the warhead and guidance computer, but when installed it forms an aerodynamic seal. The sealant prevents dust and moisture from entering the sensitive electronics and warhead compartments. The sealant remains flexible to
coals. Every completed unit is weighed to ensure it falls within the specified tolerance range for safe operation.
The center of gravity must fall within a specific box to ensure stable flight and proper handling. Small adjustments are made by adding or removing ballast weights in the tail or nose. Final inspection is a manual process that relies on trained human eyes to catch issues that automated systems might miss. Before each drone leaves the factory, its guidance computer is loaded with a test waypoint set to verify all systems function.
The engine run-in test verifies that the motor, propeller, and speed controller can operate at full power without any component failing. Thermal imaging allows inspectors to detect internal faults that might not be visible from the outside.
The guidance test confirms that the drone can follow a pre-programmed route and respond to simulated commands. The test
Completed units are for my store in Sidrakli. This is the result of industrial-scale production, where thousands of identical units are assembled using standardized processes and quality controls.
The random audit repeats approximately 10% of the final inspection steps to verify consistency across production. When units are ready for shipment, they are typically loaded at night to reduce visibility, though this educational demonstration is shown during daylight for clarity of the process. Inventory management is critical in a high-volume production environment, with every unit tracked from raw material to final shipment. The 2% rejection rate includes units that fail final inspection or random audit, and those are disassembled for component reuse.
All personnel are subject to strict access control procedures to prevent unauthorized entry or exit.
The factory operates 24 hours a day with 3 rotating shifts, each shift having its own supervisor and quality team.
The night shift focuses on high-volume mechanical assembly tasks that do not require natural lighting, such as riveting and fastening. Raw propellant ingredients are stored in separate sealed containers and only mixed in small quantities under strict safety protocols.
The viscosity must fall between 20 and 25 millimeters of penetration for proper casting and curing. Degassing is cylinders.
The casting process must be performed at a controlled temperature of 40 degrees Celsius to maintain proper flow characteristic. The oven can hold up to 120 molds at once, with each batch taking 72 hours to cure.
Dimensional consistency is critical because the grain must fit precisely inside the motor casing. The inner hole diameter.
The casing must be perfectly clean to ensure the adhesive bonds properly to the propellant grain. The adhesive is mixed in small batches tones. The warhead housing is attached using high-strength bolts that are torqued to a precise value to withstand launch stresses. Agents. Regular maintenance of critical equipment is scheduled during off-peak hours to avoid disrupting production. The filters must be changed.
Night shift often focuses on detailed electronic assembly that benefits from the quieter environment and lower ambient light. Drag soldering uses.
Each guidance computer is programmed with unique calibration data based on the specific components used in that board. The calibration process.
The guidance computer is mounted on vibration dampening standoffs to protect it from the engine's vibration. The screws are tighteners. Each motor is tracked through the assembly process, and its serial number is linked to the drone's final record. The motor is mounted with the
propeller balancing is critical to prevent vibration that can damage the airframe and electronics over long flights. A second lock nut is installed as a jam nut. Weight and balance checks are performed on every unit, regardless of shift, to ensure consistency. Supervisors perform random spot checks throughout the shift to catch any deviations from standard work. Any discrepancy found during a spot check triggers a retrain. All precision tools are calibrated at regular intervals to maintain accuracy, with torque wrenches calibrated every 30 days or 5,000 cycles. Cleanliness is a core value in this manufacturing environment, as contamination can cause defects. Each workstation has a cleaning checklist that must be completed.
We completed 14 units, slightly missing the target.
Shift handovers include a detailed review of production numbers and equipment problems. Painting is performed during the day shift because it requires maximum ventilation and lighting for quality control. Random audits are conducted across all shifts to ensure consistency, and the audit rate is higher for night shift due to the lower ambient lighting. Production flows continuously across shifts, with each shift picking up where the previous one left off. Some tasks require 2 workers for safety and efficiency.
The quick-release pins allow the fins to be removed for transport or storage, reducing the drone's overall dimensions.
The bladder is designed to fit exactly into the cavity, with no room for movement that could cause chafing. The vent line includes a one-way valve.
This video is the result of a deliberate human-AI collaboration. Every step from original concept development and GIF-based storyboarding, the final visual generation with VO3, is guided by human creative direction. The ray outputs are then professionally edited, color-graded, and refined in post-production using industry-standard tools. We follow a strict 7-step transformation for a framework to ensure each scene offers distinct educational value. This process guarantees 100% originality and full compliance with YouTube's 2026 monetization policies on synthetic and altered content. We do not use reused, repurposed, inauthentic content practices. Every frame is built from scratch as original digital art.